Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. It is a snowy morning today in Nevada. I have a cuddly Greyhound in my office hanging out with us, so it's lovely to be here. It's only been 2 weeks, right on schedule, but it feels like a lot longer because in the middle we had market, which is such a big piece of the schedule every year. So it feels like it's been ages, even though it hasn't. Now, for those of you who may not know, Market is the annual needlework trade show in Nashville. And so shops and designers all come together and we bring our new wonderful things and they bring their empty suitcases and we swap. And then everybody goes home and tries to unpack and see what happened. I also managed to fill my suitcase. You can see this little bin here of things that I picked up at Market, and I have lots of notes and collaborations in process, and it's just a wonderful time to see the different designers and shops, talk to everybody, people you don't get to see in person really, except this time once a year, and get tons of ideas. I always come away so inspired with lots of ideas. So this weekend I'm actually a bit excited because I've been waiting for new covers from the printer and they just let me know on Friday that they'll be ready Monday, which means I don't have to pack them this weekend and I can actually work on designing. Yay! So that's what I'm up to. Jumping right into stitching in action, we have 3 this week. First up is Tudor Bee, and this is stitched by Carrie, and she's Carrie in Stitches, I believe, on Instagram. And I love it. She used 36 count parchment fabric from Sparklies, which is a designer in the UK. I haven't had any of their fabrics before, so I need to obviously look that up because I can never get enough fabric. Again, as you can see from the bin. But I really love the way that it came out, and I love the way she put the initials and date in the corner. It's so subtle, and yet it makes it so personal for her. So thank you, Carrie, for sharing that. Next up, we have Tess, who did 3 of the little free charts that are available on the website and put them on scraps of linen or fabric using DMC. I don't know about you, but I always have those little extra bits that are left over when you stitch something, and they're too small to really be for another design unless it is also very small. So ornaments, free charts, things like that. I love the fabrics she chose for these, and I think they came out just perfectly. So thank you, Tess, for sharing. The third one is a bit of a push, but this was actually, it counts as stitching in action because I designed it and someone else stitched it, so that's what we're going with. This was Drunk with Power, my free chart for Market this year, so any shop that bought from me in Nashville got a copy of this and can give it out to you. I purposely didn't include any fabric, any colors, anything except the design because I wanted to see what people would do, and my friend Sharon went to Market with me. So I just told her, stitch it whatever you want, and I love it. She used 16 count Sweet Tea Ada from Seraphim, and the top color of thread is Purple Parrot from Color and Cotton. The bottom is Flower Child from Thread Gatherer, which is a limited edition, not available, but there are lots of wonderful variegated threads that you can use. And she used trims and the button from her stash. I think it came out beautifully, and I would really love to see other people stitching that up and making it completely your own. So I really look forward to seeing you all get wasted. Excellent. All right, what I'm stitching. I very optimistically took 2 things to stitch as travel stitching in Nashville. I didn't get much stitching done. The way there, we had a lot of delayed and changed flights, and by the time I got on a regular plane it was late, so I didn't get to stitch much, and then during Nashville I was just busy. But on the way home we had a long layover in Salt Lake and a nice long first flight from Nashville to Salt Lake, so I actually got some work done. And this is Faithful Friend from Scattered Seed Samplers. It's the thing that I forgot, I'm just realizing, to open up. So bear with me. But this is the design. Let's see if I can get it without the reflections here. It's a little tricky. Basically, it's this prim style dog with a little basket of flowers. Very cute. And I actually got the basket done And the dog, it's still in the hoop, which I wouldn't normally do, but market rules. So all I have left to do is fill in that outline of the dog. I'm thinking, I know it's a break in the year of stitching greyhounds, and I had thought originally of making it a greyhound. I may adjust the pattern and stitch it again later, but it's going to be for my aunt who has Labradors and has always had Labradors. So I think I might leave off the grass at the bottom. I'm going to finish stitching the dog and then see how it looks, and try some maybe the mini pre-made frames for ornaments to see if I can get that in there. But right now it's literally just filling in the outline of the dog, which makes it very easy to pick up for a little bit. And as I said, I look forward to some stitching time and designing time this weekend, so possibly get that dog finished up. That's what I've been stitching. Stash spotlight. Now, I don't normally try to show a lot of stash things at once, but again, market. So I pulled out a few to show. I may spread them out over the next few videos. But to start with, I have this darling little tomato pincushion on top of a thread spool that Lois gave me. Isn't that darling? And so many fun details. It's got a little bobbin attached. That's hard to see. Ooh, watch the tomato. Sorry. Possibly still a little punchy, but isn't that so cute? I love it. So thank you, Lois. Now I had a new room in Nashville this year, and so I had different neighbors, which is always fun. And next to us this year was Chic Stitchery, which has beautiful things from, I'm going to say it wrong, but Sajou, all the lovely, lovely pretties, and lots of beautiful scissors. I did get a couple of pairs, but one that I'm really excited about is this one. And it's called the Best Friend Scissor, and apparently it will cut everything. Usually I have my fabric scissors, which don't cut anything but fabric, and my office scissors, which kind of cut everything else unless it's too heavy, in which case I use my kitchen shears, which is not ideal. But these, it's hard to give a sense. They are weighty and really solid, so I'm very much looking forward to using these and not my kitchen shears. I also picked up a few charts, of course. Number one on my market list is this one, Greyhound Santa from Dirty Annie's, and I love it. I love it so much. When I was loosed from my room on Sunday, this is the first place I went to go get this. And it has these 3 greyhounds. When I picked it up from her, she asked me, actually, are you going to stitch it up to look like you? And I had thought, no, I'm going to stitch it like the Santa. But now I think I might. So I might play around with it. I tend to wear really long dresses in the summer because they keep me covered from the sun, and also they're kind of cooler than pants a lot of the time. But yeah, I might play around with that. But I just can't wait to stitch those 3 greyhounds. And on the back, I mean, that could be right, really. Next up, I got, as I'm sure many of you did, Buying Cross Stitch Like I'm Immortal from Lucy Beam, because yeah, that just speaks for itself. And from the lovely Paola at Puntini, she's got this series called And Other Lies. There's one that's just one more stitch or one more row, I can't remember which, but she was out of that one, so I picked up the just one more chapter, and I got an extra copy for future giveaways. But I love it because I absolutely do that every night as I'm reading before bed. Just a little further. That's it. So that's what I picked up, and some other stuff that's in the bin that I'm sure will come out later. That's my stash spotlight for this time. World Around. Since one of my designs this year, the Spring Quail, featured dogwood flowers, I thought I would look up the dogwood and learn a little bit about it. So lots of fun things. I'm going to have to refer to my notes here so I don't miss much. But there are many species of dogwood throughout North America, Europe, and Asia. The ones that we see here in North America are most commonly varieties of the flowering dogwood, which is native to Florida, or the Florida area. I guess it's a little bit older. But the part that we call the flower is not actually the flower. This flower is the center, and you can just see these tiny little green flowers in the middle, and the big showy colored petals around the outside are modified leaves. So I always think that's interesting. But it's like admiring the setting instead of the jewel in the center, but they're both beautiful. so I'm not going to complain. Let's see. This tree is self-fertilizing, so you don't have to plant two variety. A male and a female. It's both in the same tree, which is nice. You can have a dogwood, and they're very pretty. The fruit, which I'd never really known they had fruits until we had a variety in Portland that was less of a flowering dogwood and more of a fruiting dogwood, and so it had very small flowers but larger fruits. They're edible. They're high in vitamin C. You can eat them raw like an apple or also preserve them, which I've never tried, but now I need to look up dogwood jelly or something to see if I can try that. Has anyone tried that? I'd love to hear what you think. The bark can also be used to treat fevers, including malaria, as a substitute for quinine. And the leaves have been used in wound care, so very useful. The name dogwood apparently goes back to the 1600s, and it's been called the hound's tree as well, so definitely somehow related to a dog in some way, but not one that anybody is particularly familiar with. It's also called the whipple tree, more commonly in older European sources, including the Canterbury Tales. Chaucer calls it the whipple tree. It's a tree that has very dense, fine-grained wood, and so it's good for intricately carved things that need to hold a lot of strength, maybe, while also being not very large. And so it's been used for pieces of musical instruments, loom shuttles, wine presses, heads of golf clubs, all sorts of interesting things. So, apparently, you should delay a lot of your crops for planting in a lot of areas until the dogwoods actually blossom. We're experiencing here in Nevada right now a dogwood winter, which is a later cold spell, and so you should wait until the dogwoods are actually flowering, and then you know that spring is properly here and it's time to plant. So they're not flowering here yet. I can tell you that. It's snowing. They're not very large trees, although some varieties, including the Hong Kong dogwood, can grow up to 50 feet, but they can live quite a while, so they can live up to 80 years. In Victorian times, single men would give women a dogwood flower to indicate interest or affection, and apparently if you didn't return their affection, you returned the flower. So, yeah, who knew? All right. Question this week. I would like to know, what was your favorite release from market? And I'd just love to hear, because every time I go, I see new designers, new designs that I haven't noticed before. I've maybe got some in the giveaway pile that you'll see, and potentially more to come. My must-have for market was the Greyhound Santa, of course, but there's lots of stuff that I really wanted, and quite a fair bit of it came home with me. So that's my question. Best thing always, as much as I enjoy market, is coming home. And I actually tried. I planned ahead. I came in from the garage with my camera ready to record Rye greeting me, and there was just so much wiggling and licking and hopping that the camera angles went all over the place. It would make you dizzy to try and watch it. But there's just nothing like coming home, and coming home to your pets who love you is even better. My husband very politely waited until I'd been licked and jumped upon before we greeted each other, because the dogs aren't very good at taking turns. So that's the best thing. All right, giveaway last video, it was a surprise from market. So I'm going to show you your options for the surprise gift. We had a little technical issue there. I set down the surprise gift on top of the keyboard and stopped the video. So we're going back into it. I picked up a number of things, and the winner, who I will call out in a minute, gets to pick from these. Now, these are all picked with the idea of being giveaway items. So if some of them I got an extra copy for me, and some of them are just for future giveaways. So they'll be in the giveaway bin for future fun. First up, again, from the lovely Pell at Puntini. This is her entire alphabet series, and it's a little hard to see from the cover photo. I don't know if you've seen the individual pieces. They've come out over the course of time, but here, for example, is A, B, and C. They're just gorgeous. She takes beautiful photographs too, but you've got D, E, F, dragonfly, eggs, and fox. The entire set is in this one. So I got one for me too. So that'll be happening. Next option, the Lion and the Lamb from Kathy Barrick. Beautiful on that lovely kind of slate colored linen. And I think it's just a stunning stitch here. Not all of these are new, but they're ones that I just thought were particularly beautiful. Next up, the Heartstring Samplery Sunday Stitches book with the full collection. It's a beautiful book. All of those hymns that she put together. This one is from Sambrie Stitches. Becca was new at market this year, and isn't that a fun one? I love that they're spring colors, but I also love the way that the golds and the reds are brought in to make it not too muted. And I like that little sailing ship and the different flower motifs. Lots of fun. And then finally, for the options, this is from Simone at Atelier Soirée, and she did this beautiful book. It's, again, a little bit hard to see with the glare here, but it's really wonderful. And I don't know if you can see the different elements. This here, she walked me through it. This is a like a mat for making lace. Let's see, there's a beautiful butterfly in here. Lots of fun things. I'm having trouble showing it, but I got to see it in person, which is always a treat. And the book comes with these little smalls as well, which you can get maybe a better view on the back. So, lovely option. Almost. Actually, that was last but not least for the patterns. I picked up a set of Dinky Dyes. This is the Spring Flowers collection silks. And a piece of Forbidden Fiber. This is 40 count, 1/4 of a yard, Parchment. Lovely spring color. The winner, who gets to choose, Shingle Springs Stitcher. So let me know, and we will get your choice off to you, and the rest will go in for future. Giveaway this week, I went to visit the Drawn Thread, and I saw this beautiful sampler of theirs, I My Needle Ply. And the verse here, I ply my needle skilled and sure for all the years to come, with verse and flower, bird and song, wrought with love so pure. So again, beautiful colors. This is the Red House sampler because of the red house. And here it comes with this companion set of these adorable little smalls pulling out motifs from the main one. So if you would like to win that one, use the word needle in your comments and we will draw for that for the next video. That's just about it for me. I have one announcement. I have a set of instructions that I developed for the Spring Quail design. So if you pick that one up, there are instructions for the finishing, especially the Biscorno if it's your first one, as it was for me. So I haven't put them up on the website yet. I'm trying to figure out how to get them linked to the pattern or if I need to do a separate page for just instructions and things. But in the meantime, if you got the chart and you would like to have those instructions, you can drop me a message or an email and I will get those off to you. That's it for me today. Puppy video, back to work, lots of ideas. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'll be enjoying our little Dogwood winter here and I will talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye.